Hi, Luis.
Hi,
How are you?
good, thank you. Thank you everyone for having me. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Luis Juarez. I am the CEO of Inside View and founder of the company as well. Originally from Mexico, I was born in Mexico City. I moved to Australia when I was 23. And it's been an interesting journey. I guess my entire life and my whole life has been full of curiosity, moving around and starting new projects. And then you accomplish something and you want to move to the next thing and so on. Inside View as a company based in Vancouver, established in 2020, and went back to Australia because when I was 23, I moved to Australia. When I came back to Canada in 2023, I decided to go full on with the company, and it's been quite interesting since then. Most of the staff, as you know, if you guys are doing any startup or entrepreneurship or you have your own business. Penetrating the market is probably the toughest part of any company, as regardless whether it's a product, it's an app, it's a service, so it's something. There is always the go-to-market strategy. So for us, it's been always more in a Latino, Hispanic way, where we are basically establishing trust and relationships. The companies, there are 4 streams in the company just to mitigate the risk. One of the buckets is consulting services, which is we do technology agnostic and industry agnostic. Then the second bucket is product and app development, where we try to create an app every month based on multiple processes that we have with the team. It's a bit tough, but it's actually quite interesting because we start creating different reusable modules for the ongoing development. And then we do also a lot of community and education and training with different organizations, which in fact, I'm looking forward to one of the events that's coming up in the 27th of February at Polish Greystone College. And then we're planning that at the end of this year, probably early next year, to start with the last bucket, which is the staff augmentation, because we believe everything is interconnected, and that's going to be basically helping us to start expanding these different branches. I'm going to stop there. Otherwise, I can probably keep expanding, and I follow the format that you wanna have, guys, in case maybe we can do a more casual conversational instead of a monologue. But that's a bit of me.
I already have a lot of questions. I don't know if
Okay.
anyone wants to get started, or should I ask first? Okay, I'll ask first. So you said that you built the company like in different kind of modules interconnected to mitigate risk. That's interesting. That's an interesting approach. So how did that happen? Did you decide to go that way, or is that something that you figure out like down the road?
I love the question. Business is always agile for many of us. So I started just with consulting services because it's what I've been doing for the last 15, 20 years across multiple companies, different industries. And I knew it was safe, and potentially I could do this with a company and be in a very safe space. But also consulting services could be tough because you finish one project and you move to the next one. And I wanted to do something else, something different. So I decided to go with product development, and we started with a couple of applications that we developed in-house. And then that took me to start the third stream, which is the communities, because when you have something, the go-to-market strategy has to work somehow, and you have to get to your clients or to your customers. And for me, the easiest way was to start sharing knowledge in communities and spaces that are being facilitated. So then I start at the beginning when I formulated the plan, it was only basically in paper. And my safest approach was consulting services, but I knew that it was always there. But now I'm sort of taking momentum, and every component was taking place in its own different way of working and interconnecting with others.
Nice. And so you mentioned that consulting services can be tough. You said that you have to start a project, end the project. We've heard that. Um, what would you say is the kind of um, the hardest challenge for a consultant?
Um, Sometimes sounds like it's the chicken or the egg, because to deliver projects, you have to have resources. To have resources, you have to have a healthy pipeline of projects. And it's been a conversation I have with multiple business owners and as well colleagues in what should I focus, or should we focus on increasing the pipeline or the resources? To me, it's always the pipeline.
Mhm.
However, the challenge has been that it's just basically keep momentum, because as you start up a new company, you can only do much. Regardless how good you are, or how many the apps are, or how the AI and how you can deliver, you have to have a physical presence with your customers, and you cannot replace that with anything.
Mhm.
Because basically the consulting services, in my opinion, my perspective, is based on trust. And clients and customers always going to come back to you if you are reliable and accountable and you always responding, because they feel like safe with that. So I can, and that's probably the toughest challenge. I can increase the pipeline, but then I'm not going to have enough resources. These
Mhm.
days, everything is start taking shape and it's more balanced, because through the community now I have increased our team. We have a healthy pipeline, and now it's time to start sort of strengthening the skills and experience from the team.
Right. Awesome. You guys have any questions? I have many, so
Mm.
yeah. All right. Oh, Ale, go ahead, Ale.
Okay, thank you. Uh, Thank you, Luis, for your experience. What's like entering the Canadian market, and what local aspects do you notice here? And what could be the tips for us to start here?
I love the question. I just came back from a program called Trade Accelerator Program, and we were just discussing about the Canadian market. In the media, in the news, in the market itself, it's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. However, for me, I see this more like real opportunities, because Canada and Vancouver have been building multiple businesses in the same way or the same culture. When we bring fresh ideas, fresh way of thinking and doing stuff, we can uncover an infinite amount of opportunities. And people actually like that. They like to have something fresh. So for me, it's what would be the best way to start? Trust. Start building connections. Go out there and start basically going for coffee, going for breakfast, going to connect with people so you can get to know him, and then establishing a bit of a more understanding the pain. Understand sales. Sales is tough if we see it from a perspective of sales, like exchange of money and so on. But sales in another way is also the exchange of energies, the exchange of relationships and so on. Once you get there and people get to know you and they see your work, then that's one. The second one as well that was important, it's been important for us, is proving that you do what you're actually claiming that you can do. How? Case studies, video, webinars, seminars, speaking, going to conference, and so on, and put the work, because I know it's a lot of, I would say, heavy lifting at the beginning in terms of developing all this material, but it has its payback. What else? Yeah, basically those are the key, the most important key challenges that I face, and how I actually was tackling each other. What about you guys? What would you say? Do you have any experience, I guess, that you see in the market?
I will say that it's always important to start a conversation with a kind tone. Always be polite.
Yeah.
I think here in Vancouver, people need to, especially here in Vancouver, but this applies to other parts of the world as well. People buy from people. So you said before, Luis, that you built the company in the Latino way, like building trust and building relationships. And I think that's a way, because we people buy from people, and buying is an act of saying, hey, I trust that I'm gonna pay you and you are gonna deliver. So yeah, actually, I had a question, could be a little bit related to that, but not completely. So I know that you are a very deep, you are very deep in emotions and really, really connecting with yourself. So, um, and then entrepreneurship is not always like fun, and not always you know which buttons to press to get what you want. And usually it's the other way around. You do something, you expect that to work, and you often it doesn't. So my question is actually two-parted. How often, or maybe how do you approach failure, and how often do you fail?
Every day, I guess. And I wouldn't say as a failure, right? Yeah. You start the day. Anyone here that's an entrepreneur running their own business?
We all are.
Yeah. All up?
That's
Okay, so
that's the whole reason why they are here. Some
nice.
are already building their businesses, and others are just getting started. Yeah.
No, that's and that's probably what I'm gonna share. It resonates. You go to bed and you believe that you've done a lot, and like you put it out the stadium, and it was perfect day. You close way too many tasks and close a few deals, and had a great conversation with the team, and everything was perfect, and so on. You wake up tomorrow morning or the next day, and you feel like you're behind. And it's like a never-ending race. And when you get to that point, you feel like, oh, it's not good enough, and it's not good enough. So it's as an entrepreneur, you gotta learn to live and make peace with that, because there's always something that you're gonna have to keep pushing and so on. So there is a story that I recently came up is because I've been quite involved with the communities in terms of sharing and giving and so on. I got nominated 3 times by a couple of people through Microsoft to become an MVP, and then basically say they rejected. So it feels like it's unfair, right? Because you've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes that they don't see it. Maybe for others, they don't see a lot of work. But then it gives me, I see failure more like a redirection, more like, it's just a bit of, let's change the way we're doing things. Let's see where we actually is important, a priority for us for the business. Because sometimes when we as a people, we do things because of recognition, and sometimes we do it because really, really, really like it. In my case, it's the second one. So then it helps me to redirect and reassess. Actually, I'm not doing that for the recognition. I'm doing it because I like it. And thanks to the community, now Inside You is where it is, which is well positioned in the market. We are competing now with large companies for RFPs, and we won a couple of them. So the team is actually really good, and the harmony in the team and the synergy is fantastic. So I guess that's my That's the win. And sometimes we focus too much on the failures, or we call it failure, which at the end of the day is redirection or lesson learned. Now we don't give a couple of pats on the back as to say, hey, man, you're doing well. And the only comparison that I do these days is against myself and the previous day and my previous version. Hey, Misha.
Yeah, hey, so with regards to what you're just briefly mentioning there too, like, I guess maybe when you're starting out, or is it better to wait until you're more established to kind of, as a way of building out your portfolio, kind of, like if you're making stuff for your, like on your own, for example, or with a tiny team versus, obviously doing stuff for, you know, external clients, then that you might not have initially. What would you recommend is like a visual, like a way to catch their eye? And maybe is it possible for maybe you to share some visual examples for us as well of some of those early pieces, so that maybe we could get context of, you know, what can be used to help with, like, you know, other companies with marketing and stuff? Because I always thought, and this is something I've been told, because I also been elaborating with working in the game and animation industry about like doing fan art basically. So like you can try to basically do your own version of a Disney advertisement or something like that without getting in trouble basically.
Right.
Yes. I would like to comment on that one, and in alignment as well to Jambo's question here on the chat. When you decided to commit to this direction, to this company and this journey, what has continued to push you forward and support you along the way? Very interesting question. When I started and I made a commitment, I had a chat with a personal coach, which by the way is from Argentina as well. It was a really, really nice, revealing chat. We always are looking for certainty as a humans. We're always looking for stability and so on. There is something inside us that is telling us to try something else, because what we're doing at the moment is probably it's not enough. And at some point you're gonna wake up and say, oh, I don't want to do this job again. So for me was more like he asked me two questions. The first one was, okay, Luis, and I got a couple of job offers when I came back from Australia. He said to me, if one of the companies that are giving you the job offer is going to give you a salary of $500,000 per year, will you take it? And you know, it's a good salary, right? In the United States, you can get that, I guess. But and I said, yeah, I will take it. And he looked at me and said, you're not very convinced. He said, no, I'm not. I probably will quit the job in 2 or 3 months, because it's no longer what I've been looking to do with my life. And keep in mind that I was coming back from Australia, and we have my son, who is now 3 years old. He was 7 months old. So we were in a phase of not knowing what to do. We have the savings from Australia, and the second question he said, okay, well, what about this? What will the world miss out if Luis don't decide to go into its own company? And with these two questions, I decided to go full on, because at the end of the day, my philosophy of life is always serving and giving and doing with a purpose of that resonates with you, which helps me to answer my why. Why I'm doing this? Is it I'm doing it because of money? I'm doing it because of this? And then I come to the point that I'm actually doing it because I have the freedom to create something. I have the freedom to direct something, to skill up people, to share the knowledge, to help others, and so, and also more important, to spend time with my son and with my family. And that to me was the trigger. The rest of the stuff for the house, I think it's going to be tough. It's probably going to be solid enough. It didn't matter, because the house sometimes for me are those that stop you and holding you back. If we focus too much on the house, it's probably not a good idea. So for me, it was a lesson to stop listening to the house and just, okay, this is my why, and I keep going and keep going, and then the business is going to start taking shape. It's going to take you to different directions. But we have to also make peace that becoming an entrepreneur is It's a commitment, it's a discipline, it's a resilience, and you have to be respectful to the business. And it's not like, oh, I don't want to work today. Well, I don't know what all this stuff. It just doesn't work that way. At least in my opinion. I don't know what everyone thinks. What about you, Abel? I'm looking at you, and
No, I'm actually capturing everything that you say. Um, yeah, no, I agree with everything. I think once you start this journey, it's very rewarding, but you have to be super connected with what you're doing, because it's a tough path, and you need to be like sure that you are doing what you really want. Um, Actually, to rephrase what you said, you moved from Australia to Canada. Was that on work permits?
it was on work permit. No, I have my PR. I have my PR.
You had your PR.
already.
Okay.
Already, because the first time I came to Canada was in 2019.
But Maria didn't, right?
No,
She
Maria
didn't.
didn't. We were
Okay, so you moved from Australia, which is not close to Canada with a 7 months old boy, and that's your first boy, first kid, uh, and you had two really good job offers, but you decided to start your own business.
yes, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I'll try to keep the language, but that requires a good, uh, you know, pair of guys to believe in this. So good job on there. So actually, Misha did lose. I mean, did you get your answer?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, again, I guess that's why I'm just wondering, if not here, then maybe in another call I could get more examples of the, portfolios, and like what, like maybe even from all of us, to just see like, okay, what does that actually look like, right? Like, and this is where too, what I have been doing, at least to build out my credibility, is just do various like public art challenges and stuff, right? And sometimes I think that could be a good way to build publicity, if it means that you get more immediate viewers, right? I don't know.
Yeah. So Luis, you consulted to businesses before starting your company. So I guess you built your portfolio by doing the consulting stuff, or?
Yeah, no, and thank you, Misha. I'm glad you asked. I'm going to share my screen shortly, because I'm going to share with you something that I learned today, and it's fantastic. But and something that someone told me, and that person that told me that is a person that is in this call. So when I was starting the business, which is Abel, of course, when I started this business, you have to challenge whether you're going to do the job, or you're going to go and find people or more projects, right? And to do that, you start thinking, okay, do I need a sales, do I need marketing, or do I need a business development? From my lessons, the best reputation that a company can have is the person that is, or the people that is behind the company. At the beginning, of course, is the founder or the owner. And that's the best portfolio. And what I'm taking this to is people are going to look at the founder, asking what he does, what the LinkedIn profile. If you are in the technology services, how many projects have you done? Do you have what's your presentation in terms of your website? What are you doing with GitHub? How many contributions you make? Are you very active or not? Because that's what people are looking for. First, as an employee, and then second, as a client. People are looking for people to solve problems. They are not looking really at your company. They are looking at how much value you can add to organizations. So from that, I start actually building presentations, roadmaps, strategies. And so I was thinking, okay, let's say that you come to the person that is operating a store in the corner. How would you come up across to that person and say, hey, this is what I do. How can I help you? And potentially that's not going to be the best approach. The best approach is more to understand what's actually your problem. Do you have any challenges? Anything I can help you? What's your priority? But not to a business level, more to a person level, because then the person can start telling you, okay, I gotta do this, and then you already know behind the scenes what type of elements you can create. And to me, what's more important to start creating all this material, case studies from a company point of view, blogs, webinars, videos, and something that represents your brand. And as a brand, I'm preferring as a person. So let me share this screen, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This is something that I took a photo today from this workshop. Let me take this. Oh, actually, maybe I just put it in the chat, so you guys can have it. See if I can copy this. Can I add photos? No. No, I'm just gonna share my screen and you can take a. You take this photo or this screenshot and identify what elements you can actually work on from day one, depending on your industry. Then it's gonna help you to start developing your portfolio in a more meaningful way. Your primary tools, of course, you're still not as an entrepreneur, but as you can tell here, even at this level, they are referring to much of going for lunches and coffees and so on and next. The second part that you have to, once you get into the primary entry, then you say, okay, how can I actually introduce myself? Redefine who you are and what you do and why you're doing it. That's the intro to intro for any conversation. And then get a bit of more the articles. This part is probably the heavy lifting or the hardest part, which includes all material that you work that is proving that you've done the work or you know how to do it. And then go into networking and social and don't be afraid of posting. At the beginning, it's not easy because you're always going to ask and someone is going to ask you what you're doing and you're going to feel weird. But once you start doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, it's getting better. So the post that I put yesterday, it got close to 6,000 or 7,000, how do you call it? Impressions, I think it's called in LinkedIn. And it's actually pretty cool because then people start getting familiar who you are and you start growing and building from that aspect. Misha, does that help?
Definitely, thank you.
I'm gonna stop
I have
sharing
a question.
Yeah.
Luis, you mentioned that you post on LinkedIn. I mean, I know you are a multitasker. You do like from accounting to marketing to sales, and you even teach the devs what they have to do. So I know that you multitask and that you are also a very productive person. So how do you manage that? What do you do to keep yourself productive, to build momentum and not burnout?
I don't know if I can answer that question. I still keep burning out every week.
Okay.
No, but it's something that you just have to let it go. You have to understand that you cannot do everything, but you have to focus on what really matters. And I bought this guy. Let me remove my filter. If you have a space, get one of these guys. And see how do I do the effects. That's not a fan. Well, I got a whiteboard at home.
Whiteboard. Okay.
And when I have really like what about this one? Yeah, you see there, that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's a huge whiteboard.
Yeah.
All right.
That's to me. that to me is my best friend, because there is a point that you can probably be super organized and put stuff in your tasks and go to depends on how you work and how you approach the stuff. But there's a point in your brain that you have way too many things, especially when you have to do development, operations, finance, accounting, payment, events management, building relationship, and so on, that you lose track. And you could potentially have too many things to do on the same day. But you don't have enough time, and you keep thinking, overthinking, you're gonna burn out because you're gonna get stressed. So to me, it's like, okay, start listing all these things that I found in my mind. Like, okay, there are 20 things. Do I need to do this? No, not really. And then I just find actually there are 3 top things that I need to do. And then once you finish those 3 things, magically everything, the stress that you were having in your mind disappears, because there was only 2 things that were in your mind that were not letting you sleep. That's why I use it when I came to the point of, okay, well, I know too much. They said I have project deadlines, deliveries, project meetings, and I need to present something. Then I use it and start listening. Okay, this is the most important. And the good thing about this is when you actually strike it out or you remove it, you feel good. You feel like, okay, this makes sense, and then you keep moving forward. That to me works. Everyone is different. Some of it probably you use to-do list, or you use other type of organization tools, and of course using more AI these days. So these days I probably type maybe 10% of my time. The rest I'm dictating to the computer, because I got something called Whisper. You should use it if you guys are open to it. And what it does, even if you are talking, Whisper is going to get a context of what you're talking and then put it in the format that you need, depending on the speech. Let's say you're replying to an email, and you start basically dictating, put in the chat and format, and it's going to format basically the response. So it saves you a lot of time, because we know we have the answer. Whisper is
Whisper.
Yeah, Whisper Flow. I put it in the chat.
Whisper Flow. Okay. All right. Interesting.
There it is. Misha, you've been using Whisper Flow. Is it good? Right. It's very, very accurate.
Nice. So you rely on different tools and frameworks to keep yourself balanced and productive at the same time. Sorry, guys. Any questions? I can keep all night asking questions, but I want to give you some space as well. You good? Sure. All right. So here in this program, we want to build income first businesses. We believe that income is very important. That businesses without income struggle significantly more than businesses without income. So my first question is: would you agree with that definition? And how important income is for your business?
100%. Income is key to everything. Stability, financial security, everything. And so to get a team and expand and scale up. So 100% agree.
Okay. And in terms of building a healthy pipeline, other than relationships with, I think you made already a good point of the importance of doing that. Other than relationships, what would you think, or what would you say is the most important thing?
As in to building income, or
a healthy pipeline? Yeah.
For a healthy pipeline. It's sometimes I use this analogy from today as well. this person was from it was a person delivering the whole workshop. It's for the World Trade Center, and she mentioned something. Sometimes, especially in the services area, we celebrate when we close a deal. But she mentioned that it's good to celebrate, but that's the perfect moment to start looking for the next deal. So the pipeline should be there, and it's better to have a problem with multiple projects at the same time rather than not having any. Because if you don't have a healthy pipeline, by the time you finish a project, then you have to start like from zero again.
Right.
Because you are not building any capital towards the reinvestment of the company. You are just surviving on a deal, and I learned that in the first few months because I was just focusing on one project, one at a time, and I wasn't actually building the pipeline. These days, I've been actually having to delay a couple of projects because I have way too much at the moment for a few projects, and now I'm actually having the second problem, which is not having enough resources.
Yes.
And I think that's a better place to be. And the reason why I was doing, or now we have the pipeline this way, is because the ongoing work, as in events, relationship, networking, coffees, and chats, and that gives me the certainty now to start giving people more certainty to their life as well. Because I started first with a few hours contracting somewhere and with some people. And now people have more certainty because the pipeline now is giving me more revenue, more capital, so we can reinvest it. And that reinvestment as a services company will always be your team. And you have to always, think of them as the best ally in your company, because otherwise, without them, you will go back to square one.
Yeah. I had a question and I blanked. But my other question was, how long? Oh, actually, I remembered. How did you know? I mean, you mentioned that conversation with your coach about starting your own business, but how did you know what business to build? I mean, I personally know you. I know you have a lot of skills. You've have a lot of experience. You've done many things. How did you know that you wanted to build this exact business? Or actually, was this the original business that you started with?
Yes, because I was coming from doing consulting for the last 10, 15 years. And I was thinking of other business, like probably renovating houses, because I renovate a few houses in Australia. The other thing I was thinking is opening a coffee shop or restaurant. But the risk was high because it was a lot of investment to go into there, and you have to have a strong capital. For consulting services, it was merely just the expenses. I think Misha was saying. I believe from the context that Misha was saying, and Misha, you're working at the same time, right? And you are thinking of starting your own project or your new business, if I'm not mistaken. Probably. Well, that was my perception.
A little bit, yeah. Well, and again, basically, I have been doing small freelancing in computer graphics is my niche and specialty, but it is very competitive and it can be a bit challenging when, well, first of all, like I've also been testing different platforms. Like there's like the Freelancer and the one called
Fiverr, maybe.
Fiverr, yeah. But the problem with those, of course, is that you have to have a bit of money to bid on the other people's jobs, or when you want to start your own project, and then basically you have to pay people others, right? And so in that case, I was like, okay, well, no, I can't do that. I have to find other ways to promote myself, which for a while I was using Discord, but then unfortunately that got compromised. So now I'm having to go with LinkedIn, which anyways is more professional anyways. But then it's like, I'm now wondering, should I tap into maybe the LinkedIn business ads and stuff like that? Because maybe I'm wondering, it's like ads versus word of mouth, like what's kind of more effective in terms of getting consistent clients, and is it better to have a good flow of returning clients versus new clients?
Yeah. To me, I chose that one because similar to Misha is what I was doing, and compared to the other options, it was less risky. It felt less risky, but I wasn't still 100% sure that I wanted to do consulting services, because I know how consulting services works, and it's a bit of work behind the scenes. But then I was listening to a couple of I had a great conversations today. Those people that actually were helping out our customers, and I was looking at some. You probably know this guy, Simon Sinek.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they have this video about the why, right? And it took me probably a week or 2 weeks to figure out my why. And a why is not because I want to make money, because I want to live in Miami, because I want to live in Argentina eating asado, right? Or traveling around the world. It's more about waking up and you feel the motivation. Okay, I'm gonna do this stuff. And to me, that was the answer. Talking to the clients, it's great because you get to know people, not from a need, more from a challenge, more from a pain point that they have. And in my theory, my way of thinking, everyone likes to serve. Everyone likes to give something away. And when you do that, the reward is higher than any paycheck. But that's my perspective. Or that's how I felt from previous experiences. And then when that resonated to me, I said, okay, now someone actually told me, you gotta have to put your heart on everything that you do, no matter what it is. So you never get disconnected from your wife. From your wife, not my wife. Well, my wife is still here,
Yeah.
but my wife. from your wife. And that's it. Every single time that I go, if a project gets hard, or if a project gets too busy, like these days is happening, this type of experiences, they always come back like two things. Nothing is that important. I know I'm gonna get it done, and I know I got the team, and I know I'm doing it because I really like it, because I'm trying to solve a problem that no one has actually been able to solve it. And that's my yes. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, it's way more profound that I was thinking, but yeah, no, that is great. And my next question was actually, how long did it take you to build your first income, your first invoice as a company, right?
Right away. Actually, when I started, I was on my flight way to from Australia to Canada. I had closed already a couple of days because again, people they knew me because I was here before in Canada, and it was through my reputation that they know how I work, they know how I do things, they know the experience that I have in other companies and so on. Then when I posted LinkedIn, I was coming back and I was going to start looking for, I guess, collaborations and new opportunities.
Right.
And someone approached and said, hey, we got a couple of projects. And plus, I was still helping an organization in Australia. So I was working remotely, and then I got the other job. So right away, it was the first invoice. And
Nice.
yeah.
And so for people thinking about transitioning like you did, like, from any consulting type of business to actually running their own, how did your life change? I mean, not in kind of I'm talking about practically, like in the day to day, like what you do day to day. How did your life change from working for someone and doing consulting to offering consulting services as a company, and you as the CEO? How did it change?
Do you guys play video games?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play Mario Bros, right? And you know Mario Bros
Yes.
go from level 1, level 2, level 2, 3, 3, 4, and then you play multiple times level 1. It feels like, really, I'm done. And then you go to level 2 and level 3. To me, it's always the excitement of, all right, what else can I do? And then when you, and that's probably the way I see it. It changed the way I'm thinking, the resilience, the discipline, the commitment, the respectful, and there was stop. I will do it again multiple times. In fact, we are just about to open another company and a non-profit organization because that's where life is taking us, and it's fantastic, I guess, to see what you can do. If I had taken the job offer 2 years ago, definitely I would have a more stable income or probably life in many ways, and I would just probably be okay with the work. But I decided to compromise the first few months, and I thought it was going to be tough, and it was tougher than I thought. But then it was just a temporary pain because now it's that sort of taking shape. Now I can work with a team that can help me to build the stuff. And the other thing that I would say as well that's going to change, or that changed, it changed my circle of friends. It changed my relationships because eventually with people that I used to hang out and talk, they are no longer there because we are in different journeys. And then I start getting surrounded by people like, for instance, Odell or Marcela, and other entrepreneurs, Yasmin, and so on. And then it's just like playing the video game. You go to the next level and start finding new things and start getting more interested in life in many ways. But yeah, it's just probably everyone thinks that being an entrepreneur is fun, and it's fun, but you just gotta accept as well that sometimes it's not gonna be that fun.
Yeah. So, when did you start the company? What year?
I started for taxes purpose in 2020, more like Misha's, I guess, case, just for contracting and taxes and so on. But then in 2023 is when I it was full on. It was just working for the company 100%.
So then it's been about 3 years.
Yes, it's been 3 years.
Okay.
2 years and
so,
a half, yeah.
3 years and a half. All right. So for people starting their own businesses, this is a great opportunity to kind of imagine how their lives can be in 3.5 years. So my question for you is, what's your goal as a company for 2026, or goals? I don't know.
Yes, I have a few. Number one, I guess, is giving more stability and financial position to the company, increasing the pipelines, and that's going to take me to be, if not the best of the top 5, top 2, or top 3 consulting firms in the area of Microsoft in Vancouver. Give maturity to the second stream, which is the products and the development, to the point of we can actually develop applications. And number 3 is getting the company to be a referent in how to prepare students, which in Canada, that's another, not probably Canada, in many countries, that's a big problem, because some graduates, they are prepared to do development of data science and so on, and it's very limited because when you go to the market, there is not much opportunity, and the demand of it's not going to be enough for all the supply. So which means people are not really preparing themselves for different areas within the business opportunities. So, and that's what we wanted to do. We are talking to another colleague, another person, which is a partner as well from us, and the university, one of the universities, to become and to put together a program, a course for the students to skill them up and put together a bit of a course for them. So that's the 2026. But the priority for us is financial stability.
Nice. Cool. We're almost on time, and I asked I think 99% of my questions. Actually, no, they have a lot more, but I don't want to keep you guys all night. Any other questions from the audience? We have a great entrepreneur here.
The other thing is, if you or you know of any people that would end up needing to hire, with other 3D freelancers or graphic artists, like maybe you can keep us in the loop, right?
Yes. It's
because I do wonder, like, at what stage of income is it makes sense to start like paying people, basically, right?
Yeah. Let me see if I got your question. So you are referring more as in referrals or leads, or more like as in should I start charging? Or is that correct? Or what? I don't know,
A little bit of all of that, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, especially because obviously one of the other major goals probably is to get to a stage where you can leverage other people into your company instead of just being a solopreneur, right? Because maybe so far I've been promoting myself as a solopreneur, but I've also wanted to promote myself as a collaboration artist, and that's why I try to network with other artists. But then it's tricky when it's like, if you don't have money to pay them, their motivation is much lower, typically, at least from the starting point, right? So there's got to be a way where you can kind of entice them to say, hey, this could be the end result, and this could lead to more freelance work, or maybe employment temporarily with another company or studio.
Keep finding and keep searching your tribe. Keep searching for your people, because we are all different, and not everyone is going to think the same way you think. For me, over the last couple of years, probably within our team altogether, they were close to maybe 14 people, 13 people. And at the beginning, when I was doing, and this actually happens to many, I don't know, Abel, if you had the experience, but in my experience, sometimes when you start your company, you feel like fulfilling your ego to hire more people. But it's a difficult and very risky decision, because you start compromising the company decisions just to make or try to help someone. You have to always be okay to make decisions to let people go if they are not in alignment to your vision or the way of your thinking. You're always going to make mistakes if you want to do a partnership or collaboration with someone, always. But you have to be okay to say, you know what, this is no longer working. And when you find a person that's actually the right fit for you and the way you believe, then everything is going to start flowing faster and easier.
Cool.
And then sharing the income, it doesn't hurt. It's actually, if you feel like, okay, now I can do more, because your mindset is going to change from saving to producing more.
Great. Thank you.
And the same applies to clients, right? So to what Misha was asking, if I guess if you're working for a client that doesn't really want to pay your full amount, or I don't know, try to negotiate that down, and you don't feel like doing it, you just don't, right? But then how do, well, I guess that's a long question, but how do you build enough reputation so that you can say, hey, my price is whatever, and that is my price, whether you like it or not?
Yeah, right. I can answer. I can share a story. One of our partners at the beginning, my rate was, just to give an example, $10, right, per hour. Just give me a random sample. And then he came back and said, "Oh, Luis, we're going to have this amount of work with this client, but we have to reduce your rate to $6 or $5. And I said to him, in my mind was like, "Oh, man, I don't have any other clients at the moment. But what I'm going to do?" Then you are between, you have the pressure to make a decision. And I told him, "You know what? That's all right. I'm not going to take it. You can hire someone else." And he was surprised. He was shocked because he thought I was going to accept the deal. I said no, and he asked me, "Okay, well, can you help us to put together a roadmap?" I said no, because otherwise I'm going to give you my secret recipe of doing this type of projects, and then that's my experience that I'm giving away. So maybe get some the other consultants, get the other architects, and so or get other companies that can actually do the work. So he went ahead. He hired another couple of people. And then 2 months later, he came back because the quality that we deliver is non-price negotiable. And then that's when you make peace with the value that you provide to the companies, and that gives you the boost your confidence in many ways because people pay for it.
Yeah, people. I guess people pay for the feeling of. I mean, seeing you feel so confident about whatever you offer that you don't even negotiate anything down, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are on time, and I want to be respectful of everyone here's time. Thank you, Luis. This has been an amazing session. I'm going to send the recording to everyone here, and for those of you that are not in the community, feel free to join. The community is free. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you build amazing businesses. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon, Luis.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I just put in the chat my LinkedIn, guys, in case you want to connect. I'm local to Vancouver. I'm always open for a coffee or any chat. And Abel, I'll see you in a few weeks, I think.
Yeah, a few days.
Yes, a few days. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Thank you,
Good
Luis.
night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.